Hello, hello, hello. Happy Friday. How's everybody doing this January the 21st? Hope you guys had a good week. You had a good Martin Luther King Day on Monday. I know I spent a lot of time, thinking about that and kind of where we are and what we need to be doing going forward. So I hope you had a good week. It's Financial Freedom Fridays. I'm your host, Gus Tucker. It's good to be here. And we're going to be making a transition this week and next week. We're going to move from learning these concepts to putting these concepts into practice. Okay, and then we're going to be talking about 7 money milestones that you're going to hit. And it's all about you having a plan. I remember a friend of mine told me, I've been in this industry for over 20 years, and he said people spend more time planning a trip to Disney World than they do their own financial future. They spend more time planning a trip to Disney World than their whole financial future. How many parks are we going to go? Are we going to get the 3-park pass or the multi-park pass or the 1-park pass? We're going to go to SeaWorld and Disney World. We're going to Universal. What we going to do? Where we going to stay? And they spend a lot of time doing that. But I want you to have your priorities. Not that that's wrong, because, hey, I have 3 children. They're not little anymore. But we went to Disney World 5 years in a row. That was vacation. We were down there for 10 days, 5 years in a row. They loved that going down there. But, hey, man, it's not more important than your financial future, right? So, here, we're going to hit this, and we're going to do a quick recap. Then we're going to talk about a key concept, and then we're going to move on, okay? So, if we can hit that first slide, what are we doing? We're creating pathways to financial independence. Today, the fundamental we're going to discuss today is the rule of 72. Man, this is important. The rule of 72. Very, very important. So we're just going to do a quick review. Financial independence. What is it? It's the state of having sufficient personal wealth to live without having to work actively for basic necessities. Where you've got enough money, either in investments, money investments, real estate investments, or business, intellectual property, where you don't have to work anymore, okay? Because you've set up systems that are driving your money. So the next slide, we talked about literacy. Literacy is being competent in the knowledge of specified area. Financial literacy, hey, Dimitri, thank you. Financial literacy is about understanding how to earn, spend, save, manage, and invest money. So we have to learn how to do all those things. And once you learn how to do that, as you say, you're a dangerous person. Okay? Frederick Douglass says, once you learn to read, you'll be forever free, because you can continue to feed your mind. Your mind is a tremendous tool. It's a tremendous tool. And we talked about that reticular activating system, right? That will help you reach and find your goals, okay? The next slide. Please take the Financial Literacy Challenge, get your free ebook, and get your Financial Freedom Checklist, okay? Hello, Miss Solano in sunny Florida. I'm not mad at you. I'm in frigid Chicago. It's 23 degrees. But get your score, get a free ebook, get your Financial Freedom Checklist. This is our last winter in Chicago, though. That's it. But yeah, take the challenge, guys. Take the challenge. It's fun. Send me your score. Get a free ebook and a Financial Freedom Checklist. If you check off the things on this list, you could be about sure that you're going to hit your financial freedom targets. If you got this list checked off, okay? It's like a to-do list for being financially independent, okay? Next slide. Here's this book. You want to get this book and read it. It's an easy read, but the concepts are profound. It's called How Money Works. How Money Works by Tom Matthews and Steve Siebold. It's available on Amazon. And they haven't made it available as a Kindle because they actually want you to get the book, flip the pages, write in it. Old school, Old school. Winter's over here. Okay, winter. It's probably 60 degrees. Okay, so next slide. Financial dependence has to be created 3 times. First in your mind and your emotions, second on paper, and the third time is taking action. putting it out there, actually making it happen. Okay. So, developing your thoughts about it, developing a dream board, a vision board, and then actually having action plans to go for it. That's what we need to do. And then you need to have reasons. You need to have reasons to develop a compelling future. You got to have reasons. What are your reasons? Why you want to be financially independent? Do you want to control your time? Do you want to control your money? Do you want to have financial independence for your family? So if something happens within your family, you can handle it. Okay. Or you're not pushed around by the economic system here in America. So 10 reasons why you need to be financially independent. And then our life is about creating certain feelings. We want to feel certain ways, right? And that's why we do certain things. I know I've talked to ladies, they do retail therapy. As long as you got the money to do that, it can work. So having feelings that are consistent with your financial independence, right? So that when you are financially independent, you're also happy too. Because I know a lot of wealthy people that aren't that happy. They got a lot of money, but they're not that happy. Okay. So you want to have both. So next thing is, we talked about doing a zero-based budget by the end of January, where you review 3 months of your bank, credit card, financial statements. Okay. And get your spending, saving, and investing habits together. And then non-discretionary versus discretionary spending, you get those things in line. You get your ratios in line, where you're living on the right amount of money, you're wiping out your debt, you're giving in your savings, and then you're in good shape. Okay. And again, so what are we doing by the end of January? You need to have this book read. I would encourage you, have the book read. Have your reasons, your feelings. Complete your zero-based budget. Know your percentages. Then you're going to be on track for the second half, which is the money milestones. Okay. And I saw somebody threw up in the chat generational wealth. Takes 3 generations of people executing the correct strategy for generational wealth to hold. I know you guys have heard of a family called the Vanderbilts. And there was a family that was a contemporary of theirs called the Rockefellers. And they leveraged 2 different strategies with their money. They both would be considered billionaires in today's dollars. But right now, there are 0 millionaire Vanderbilts left. Whereas there's over 100 people receiving multiple 6-figure distributions from the Rockefeller Trust. There's a book about this. Maybe I'll tell you about it later on. But who do you want to be, the Vanderbilts or the Rockefellers? The Rockefellers have generational wealth. The Vanderbilts do not. What strategies they employ? A number of those strategies we're going to talk about in the rest of this course. So don't miss a week. Okay, next slide. Okay, how money works the Masterclass. You ready? Next slide. You ready? Okay, here we go. Boom. Rule of 72. Have you guys heard of the Rule of 72 before? Maybe. I don't know. Possibly. Okay, as it says, it's not a magic trick. It's the mental math shortcut everybody on earth should know. If you know this, it'll change your behavior. Okay? What is it? Next slide. Rule of 72. If you take the number 72 and divide it by an interest rate, it'll tell you the amount of time that your money will need to double. Take 72 divided by an interest rate, tells you the amount of time it takes for your money to double. So let me ask you guys, before we go to the next slide, get a piece of paper out, write down what's your bank paying you on your savings account or your CD. What's the interest rate? What's the interest rate? There's a website out there called bankrate.com. You can go look at all the bank rates out there, online, offline. So what is it? Well, what are they paying right now? Somebody send us a message. What they paying? I mean, I know what they're paying, but I want you to know what they're paying. What are they paying? Bankrate.com. What are they paying? Somebody hurry. Time's wasting. Hurry. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. What are they paying on savings accounts? Okay. Now, next slide. And here's the deal. Banks are paying less than 1%. So if they were paying 1%, it would take 72 years for your money to double. How old are you right now? Do you have 72 years for your money to double? Probably not. Probably not. Let's go to the next slide. Okay, here's this young lady right here. She says, I'm 19 and she just got a $10,000 inheritance. If I wanted to grow it to $1 million by retirement, how many doubles and what interest rate would I need? So let's take a look. Zoe, you need more than 9% interest and 7 doubles to reach 1 million by age 67. See that? So let's look at the first column, 1%. She's going to double every 72 years. So she'd be what? 91 years old. At 3%, she'd get 2 doubles and have 40 grand. You see the 9%? By the time somewhere between 67 and 70, she'd have her $1 million. If she could get 12%, she could do it in 8 doubles. You see why that's important? Because it'll kind of give you a projection. If you can get a certain return, how to project where your money's going to be down the road. The S&P 500, the Standard & Poor's 500, is the 500 largest companies. Well, not necessarily the largest. They're 500 large companies in America, typically. And they'll be represented by one number, how they're doing, okay? The S&P 500, that index, which you can get S&P 500, you can get a investment that tracks with the S&P 500. Historically, it's paid out about 8.8% a year, almost 9%. So if you had your money in the S&P 500 over time, it goes up and down every year, but over time, how many years would it take to double? Let's say it's getting 9%. How many years would it take for your money to double? If you were getting 9%, well, take 72 divided by 8 or divided by 9, and you get 8 years. Take approximately 8 years for your money to double, okay? So if you go to the next slide, what about the 1% example? Check this out, guys. In America today, and if you go to usdebtclock.org, they've got this number, and you can see what it is right now. $10 trillion in money in passbook savings accounts that average 0.1%. 0.1%. Americans are investing or in their savings account $10 trillion that's getting 0.1%. Not 1% to double every 72 years, but 0.1%. Oh my goodness. $10 trillion. That's 12 zeros. 12 zeros. And they're getting 0.1%. We're going to talk about this later. Don't put your money in the bank. Put your money where the bank puts their money. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. And if you would do the challenge and send me your score, you'd get an ebook that answers that question. Don't put your money in the bank. Put your money where the bank is putting billions of its dollars, okay? Where is that? Man, you got to get the free book to find out, or wait till much later in the course, okay? That's what's up. So go next slide. It would take 720 years for your money to double at 0.10%. Think about that. 720 years. $1 would become $2 in the year 2740. Wow. Okay, next slide. Now check this out. Check this out. What's the interest rates on your credit cards? Who issues the credit cards? A lot of them. What institutions? Huh? What'd you say? Banks? Yo, really? Oh, so banks are giving you credit cards with the average interest rate 16%. Whose money are they loaning out? Okay, yours. Exactly right. Who they loaning it out to? Sometimes to you, if you have that bank credit card. So you give them your money, they give you 0.1%. When you borrow their money by using that credit card, they charge you 16%. What's the difference between 16% and 0.1%? 15.90%. What's that called? Profit to the bank. I don't know where you live, but banks usually have the biggest buildings in town. Why is that? Because they're making all this kind of interest off us on their money. At 16%, it takes 4.6 years to double. If the stock market's at 9%, it takes 8 years to double. So who's going to win, the stock market or your credit card? That's why we got to get out of debt. Get off that 16, 20% money, 7% money. You got to get off that and get that money working for us through investments, real estate, a business. Okay, next slide. Don't put your money in the bank. Put your money where the bank puts their money. Where's that? Stay tuned. Like I said, what you got to do is take the challenge, send it to me, and I'll send you an ebook that tells you where the bank puts a lot of their money. And we'll send you that financial freedom checklist. Okay? Don't put your money in the bank. Put your money where the bank puts their money. Where is that? Stay tuned. Next slide. So check this out. This slide, it says, I don't know what unscrupulous means, but now I know why banks give customers suckers. This is like we talked about. Like, you go to the bank, up there on the bank by the teller, used to be when you went in there, they'd have some suckers in there. In the label, the type of suckers they were called dum-dums. Now, check this out. If I give you my money and you give me 0.1%, and then I turn around and borrow it back from you through a credit card at 16%, or a car loan at 6 or 7%, or even a house at 3%. 3%, if you make 2.5%, almost 3% on your money versus zero, that's a big difference. Even on a low interest house loan, they're still making tons of money. Do you see what's happening? The bank is taking our money and investing it in certain things. They're investing in loaning it out to other people. They're investing in other things. And they're doing it with our money. Okay? Yeah, Tanisha, suckering your money. Exactly right. Exactly right. So, what are we going to do about that? Now, the rule of 72 works the other way too. Check this out. If you take 72 divided by the number of years you have left to save, it'll tell you the interest rate you need. And how much money you ought to have. Okay? So this says I've got $500,000 in my retirement account. I'm 57. Are you saying if I want my money to double to $1 million by retirement, which is 10 years from now, I can divide 72 by 10 and get the interest rate I need? Yep, 7.2%. Okay? How many years before you retire? How many years you got left to save? It'll tell you what that interest rate is. If you've got enough money that those number of doubles will get you there. It tells you the interest rate, but doesn't tell you the amount. Okay? What amount do you need at that level? Okay, let's look at that. Now, let me ask you to get a piece of paper. Okay, go get a piece of paper, I know, or your computer or whatever it is you work on. Okay, check this out. The median household income. Another way to think about the most common individual, not household, individual income in America is $35,000. It's not a lot of money, but it's $35,000. Okay, let's round it up to $40,000. $40,000. So let's say you wanted to retire on $40,000, right? $40,000. And you're going to retire in 20 years. Okay, so I'm going to write this down too. $40,000 in 20 years, right? First of all, let me ask you a question. How much money would you have to have saved to pay you $40,000 a year? If you're just talking about a lump sum of money. Okay, I'm getting my calculator out. I want you guys to do this too. Write down 40,000 and divide it by 0.04. .04. Okay? What do you get? You should get $1 million. $1 million times 0.04 leaves you $40,000 before taxes. Why 0.4? Well, if the S&P 500, which is a good approximation of the stock market, is doing 8.8%, and it's not doing it every year, if we take out 8.8% and the market is negative, it didn't go up by 8.8%, you'll start eating away the principal, the money that you have saved. So 4% is about half of that 8.8% to be conservative so we don't run out of money, okay? That's $1 million. And you got 20 years. So the thing says 72 divided by how many years to save? 20. Okay, 72 divided by 20 says you need 3.6 interest rate for it to double in 20 years, right? But if it was going to double in 20 years, how much would you have to have today to have it be $1 million 20 years from now? You'd have to have 500,000. Oh my goodness. It's 500,000. How we doing? If you need $1 million in 20 years, how you doing? You got the 500,000 right now? Boy, I don't know. A lot of people don't. Here's another way to think about it. Let's say you get what the S&P 500 would give you, 9%. That means it's going to double every 8 years. Okay? And let's say you need that $1 million at 65, right? 65, and it's doubling every 8 years. So $1 million is 65. 8 years before that is 57. I need to have 500,000 saved. 9 years before that, I'm 48. I need to have 250,000 saved. 9 years before that, I'm 39. I need to have 125,000 saved. 30, 9 years before that, I need to have $60,000 saved. 62.5. So let me ask you a question. Based on that, and based on your age and wanting to have $1 million, are you on track having enough money to hit your retirement number? Now, we're going to get into this in more detail, but this is just a way to use the rule of 72 to begin to get a rough idea of where we're at. Because we don't want to wait till the last minute to know where we're at, do we? You don't want to try to get up on that exit like 5 feet before the exit, right? And you 2 lanes over. No, man, about to have an accident. And if we're not where we want to be financially in enough time, we're going to have a retirement accident. Okay? You see where we're going? Okay. So, how do suckers think? The rule of 72 sounds like math. Boring. How do the wealthy think? Math rocks. The rule of 72 is simple, powerful, and practical. So based on this rule of 72, where you at? Where you at in your process? Okay? So 2 more slides says, compound interest is the greatest mathematical discovery of all time. And one of the reasons is it allows you to plan for your future. Okay? So go to the next slide. And what do you need to do? Go take the quiz. Send me your score and get a free ebook that'll show you, don't put your money in the bank, put your money where the bank puts their money, and get a financial freedom checklist. Okay? So please do that. Okay? So you got that website down? howmoneyworks.com/Gus Tucker/challenge. Okay? You go to the next slide, it's going to tell you, buy the book again. Buy the book. Buy the book. Buy the book. Buy the book. Complete your budget. Get your reasons and feelings down, okay? And so let me ask you this. We got 2 minutes and a half left. Do you have any questions that you can put up in Facebook that maybe we can answer for you? Or you can email me at financialfreedomfridays@gmail.com. financialfreedomfridays@gmail.com. Share this program with other people. Share this program with other people so we can get the word out. If you got questions, if we can answer them, we will. If we can't, we'll take that too, and we'll research them and get back to you. So starting next week, we're going to start talking about the 7 money milestones. And like being on a trip somewhere, you know how far, if you're driving or even if you're flying, you know how far it is from where you are to where you want to be. And depending on how you're going, by car, train, plane, boat, whatever, you know how they got to navigate along the way to get there, okay? These financial milestones are the same thing. We're navigating to financial independence, where you've got enough assets to take care of your lifestyle. Well, there's some things we need to define along the way. Like, what lifestyle are you actually trying to support? How much money does it need? By when are you going to need it? Then that tells us the kind of money we got to make and the kind of returns on investments that we need to make. Okay? So hang in there as we go through these 7 money milestones. Get the book, and then you'll start applying them. 1 milestone at a time. 1 milestone at a time. But you need to have your zero-based budget done before February 1st. Because when we start going through the milestones and you don't have that done, it's not going to make any sense. Okay? So with that, we're going to be complete for today. Rule of 72. If you take, all right, Dimitri took the quiz. Now send me the results. Send me the results. If you passed the final, but you didn't hand it in to the teacher, man, don't get no credit for the score. Okay? So, guys, that'll do it for this week. Have a great, safe weekend, and we'll see you guys next Friday, okay? So you guys take care. Bye-bye.